So I'm here today to bring you a movie review on Django Unchained by Quentin Tarantino, written and directed, and I really enjoyed it. I have to say that I was thoroughly entertained. Serious storyline, but there are some good comedic moments in it. Basically about a slave and this white German guy, bounty hunter, looking for a couple guys that, Jamie Foxx's character happens to know. He needs him to find these guys, and it kind of starts off from there. Doesn't end there. I have a really big problem with movies that I can predict too easily, and I tried to do that with this movie, and it kind of kept me guessing, which is good. It proved me wrong, which is awesome. You gotta love those movies where it just keeps you, oh, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? It really does do that for me, which is, I just love that fact. Some of the characters in it, I just totally love. The fact that they have this tongue-in-cheek, this fakeness, they do really well. Specifically, I am a real big fan of Christopher Waltz's character. Just him as an actor. I fell in love with his acting when he was in Inglourious Basterds, of course, also done by Tarantino. If you guys have not seen it, please see it because it's so good. His character and just the way he delivers is so well, just well performed. I just love it. He has this way of coming off so smooth, and in Inglourious Basterds he was kind of like the bad guy because he was playing one of the Nazis. But in this one, he's more the good guy, and you kind of see that. He has a way of coming off so subtle of the soft moments, and just when he needs to be that, a little bit tougher. I just think it just, overall, his performance is just so well done. Jamie Foxx's character, really good progression, probably a little bit too fast for my liking. I think that this is a serious role for him, a really good role for him, but I thought maybe he was a little too serious, but I guess it would be a big deal for, covering that type of topic and really putting in the revenge that, a slave would have on, slave masters back in the day. I mean, just thinking about it, it's like, hell yeah, I would do some shit like that. But, yeah, revenge flick. I don't want to, put any spoilers in there. Just go and see that. You see how it all turns out. But other things I want to address, Leo's in it. Leonardo DiCaprio's in this movie. I didn't even know. I totally was oblivious to the movie coming out. Didn't even, whatever. But when he came up in the movie, I was like, oh my god, it's Leonardo DiCaprio. It was amazing. But I thought he played his character really well. He played the fakeness I was mentioning earlier, down to a science, because you have that southern hospitality where everyone's nice and everyone's polite and there's way going about things, and then when shit hits the fan, it was like boom he totally just released it all. Another thing I like about the movie is that even though it's kind of covering this seriousness, the serious topic that it covers, it has this comedic relief. And there was one scene in the movie that I thought was absolutely hilarious. There's a scene where, Jamie Foxx and Christopher Waltz's character get their three guys, they're bounty hunters, so they get the three guys they're going after, and because it's a white guy and a black guy together, that's taboo back in that time, so they went after him. It's kind of like the beginning of the KKK, but there's one scene where they all have their hoods on, and they have the cutouts on the sheets in front, but then the one guy is upset about it. He's like, I can't see this, and they're discussing about, or arguing really about how bad an idea it was, and oh, we should have wore the hoods, or we're going to wear them next time, what are we going to do? It was so funny. I laughed so hard just during that whole ridiculous argument of these beginning KKK group that it was just so funny to me. I'm sorry. I did not mind any of the goriness that happened, and I love how Tarantino always overdoes the effects of the blood and the squibs and everything. Everything's just blow out blood, and I'm a big fan of those types of things. But another thing I wanted to talk about was the really small, intricate details that were kind of put into the movie, just the right amount. And sometimes these the close-up shots are overdone, it's zooming in and whatever, but I thought that the only time he had some of those was when it was needed. I'm a firm believer that you only put things in a film that are going to give the viewer, a little bit more to add to the story. And these little small details really gave you a little bit more to hold on to as far as, the timepiece was considered in the movie. There's one scene where, in the beginning, where they go to the pub together, and the owner, runs out, and they go gets the sheriff, and then Christopher Waltz's character goes to grab a draft beer, and there's, really cool close-up of them, taking the foam off the beer and stuff like that. I thought that was just a really good small detail to show, that type of time. I thought overall the movie was really, really well paced. It really kept me entertained, and there was just good amount. Samuel L. Jackson's character is, I want to say it was good, but it kind of annoyed me. But, every character is supposed to give you some type of emotion, and each character really did. There was another scene where, there was a little bit, I thought this was just, I was like, holy shit, I can't believe, I hope they don't show any of this, but it was, a little bit of flashbacks here and there where, I guess one of the slaves gets kind of ripped apart by dogs, and I was like, oh my god, that's really intense, and it's totally intense, and I love the fact that it was intense, because it's not boring, and you gotta give it to him. So, Tarantino, I give, the movie, seriously, 2 thumbs up. But really, if you've not seen the movie, go and see it. Such good entertainment. I really have to give it to him this time around. I'm always impressed with his movies. And a little bit of back story on the controversy of the movie. Yes, the N-word is used a lot, but it kind of goes with the time period. It happened. You can't sugarcoat it, and I got to give it to him for actually kind of standing his ground on that. But there's actually 2 interviews you should probably look into. There's one with Samuel L. Jackson. He's been interviewed by this, I think a newer interviewer. I don't remember where or what, but he basically kind of forces this guy into a corner, will not answer one of his questions because he won't say the N-word. Because the guy is asking about the controversy on the N-word, and Samuel L. Jackson, now mind you, the interviewer is a white guy, so Samuel L. Jackson was like, say the word. Just, what's the word? I'm not going to answer your question until you say the word. Which I thought was I can't believe he would do that to someone that's trying to just do his job. Because a white person interviewing a black guy, it's going to be fired. His career's over. You know that. I mean, just everyone knows that. It's just, yeah, I'm really surprised that, they come off that way to the interviewer. There's another interview with Quentin Tarantino where an interviewer asks him about the violence related in his movies and relate that into real life, and do you think it's this way or the parallel between the two or whatever. And so Tarantino pretty much tears him a new one. He will not answer the question, and he's like, I've answered this question before, and if you guys do follow his films, you do know that they are violent, and that he has answered this question many times over the years since he's been a filmmaker. So the fact that the interviewer asked the question was one issue. He shouldn't have asked the question. He probably switched it up. And I know the whole thing with the controversy and the issues behind the Newtown shooting, that's probably why he was asking the question, but Tarantino totally was not answering the question. And I don't know. He's warranted, but hey, just be nice to the people trying to do their job, I guess. I don't know. But there's just a lot going on in this film, and I just love it. So go see it. It's awesome. Django Unchained.